Okay, so here we're looking at Helens mean wind speed data. The first thing to notice is there's a NA in the wind speed row, and that, from our knowledge of the large data set, means the data was not available. That means we can't use these 13 non-applicable values in our calculation. We can't use a value of 0, we just cannot use them at all, so we're going to ignore these 13. So in calculating the mean, we're just going to do the sum of x over n, and that gets you 10.2 recurring. Really, at this point, I'm expecting that you just plug these values straight into your calculator. That's what the examiner's expecting as well, which is why you're only getting the 1 mark or the 2 mark for these questions. I've shown the fraction or the expression that I'm using, but once again, I would expect you to plug these into your calculator. Your calculator is going to show you the sum of x, so you can write that as a numerator. Your calculator is going to show you n, you can write that as a denominator. But straight into your calculator, that's what we're expecting to see. Just double check you've put the numbers in correctly. Once again, the calculator will give you the summary statistics for the standard deviation as well. So you can lay it out the same way I have, but I'm just not expecting you to calculate it like that. The calculator will give you both these final answers. So here in part C, we're once again asked to make use of our knowledge of the large data set, and from these 5 labelled months to try and indicate which one or which month from the data set we think will be represented with the mean 11.57. So month E, which month from the data set would it be? Well, I'm going to suggest October, because we have a windy month here, and the seasons that are the windiest are autumn and winter. And the season that is latest into autumn, or I should say the month that's latest into autumn from all of the months in the large data set, is October. The key here is to know that the large data set ends with October. It doesn't go into December or January or any of those months. So just knowing that October was the last month is what leads you to getting credit for this particular question. Here in part D, we're asked to make reference to table 2, which I'll put on the screen in a second, and to describe what the asterisk means on the box plot. Well, we know that an asterisk or a star on a box plot indicate an outlier. So something that's been calculated to be an outlier, but was part of the original data set, is always represented with a star or an asterisk. Okay, secondly, we're asked to suggest with reasons which month is likely to be Y. Looking at Y, which is the middle one, I notice that the median is quite low. It's one of the lowest. And we've got an outlier. So that lets me think 2 things. Firstly, if it's got a low median, it's likely to have a low mean. And secondly, if it's got an outlier, it's going to have quite a high standard deviation. So I'm really just going to look back to the original data, and I'm looking for which of them has a low mean but a high standard deviation. And with those conditions, it's month B that seems to fit the bill. So I would say that B matches up with Y.